News Talk is online. News Talk Online is a production of paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet with more than 4 million unique users on demand on iTunes and on YouTube and on Blip TV and on my blog, GaryBaumgarten.com, where you're encouraged to post your comments, whether you agree with yours truly or not. No retribution. And thanks to our good friends at CRN Digital Talk Radio, we're syndicated to an additional 12 million households. I am your host, Gary Baumgarten. I welcome you to the show, and I encourage you to go to reportergary.com. Check it early, check it often, just like voting in Chicago. Let's switch topics completely here for a second and go across the pond. There have been so many, I can't even recall all of the animal kills. There have been massive bird and fish kills in Arkansas, I believe in Louisiana, right there on the Chesapeake Bay, not too far from where you are, Jonathan Wolfman. We had 2 million fish come up dead on shore. Birds have been falling from the sky in Sweden. I heard today in Tennessee there are birds that are just dropping from the sky. And I don't know, maybe this happens and it just wasn't being reported before. And now in the United Kingdom, crabs are washing up dead on the shore. Cassandra Wood, our correspondent in England, welcome to News Talk Online on the Pal Talk News Network. What can you tell us about your animal kill?
Thank you very much, Gary. And well, yes, 25,000 dead velvet swimming crabs were washed up on the shores by the Thanet coast, which, as you said before, is in Kent. Also, an awful lot of starfish were washed up as well. This is the third year in a row that this phenomena has happened. Last year there were 40,000, so there is a slight reduction. These particular crabs, the velvet swimming crab, feed very close to the shore at this time of the year. They feed on the kelp, on the seaweed. That is just sort of quite close to the shore. But because this is the third time it's happened, there have been tests done on this, and they've done tests for diseases and for other physiological problems, and that nothing has been become evident. The common factor for the die-offs, according to environmental scientists, is that each year this has occurred was when there'd been snow on the beaches, and what they think may happen is that the meltwater causes the water near the shore to drop in temperature, causing the crabs to die of hypothermia. But
what about the fact that snow is fresh water that is melting into the sea? Now, I know the volume is minimal compared to the original seawater, but does that not cause for the water close to the shore where they are breeding at this moment or feeding at this moment to become brackish? Have they looked at the possibility that that's a contributing factor?
I think they have, but they've discounted that, because it was thought that the volume of snow was not sufficient to cause a drop in the salination levels. So that they think it's the cold, that right. The fact that it becomes very cold. But at the moment, if you've seen the pictures, the shores are absolutely littered with these thousands upon thousands of crabs, and what they're doing with them, they're leaving them there. They're leaving them for the birds or for them to decay and return to the systems.
And for the homeless people.
And for the homeless people. But Gary, it was said to me that maybe there was something driving the crabs, and maybe those sharks with the little antennae
lasers
on the top.
Lasers
on
the
top.
Mossad sharks with the lasers.
The Mossad sharks with the lasers had maybe released there and driving them. So it destroys our crab industry.
That's right, because and this is a retaliation for the unions there in the United Kingdom attempting a boycott of Israeli goods.
Mr.
Absolutely.
You'll notice that all of the sharks have laser beams attached to their heads. I figure every creature deserves a warm meal.
There you go. Well, Justin, there's a gentleman who's typing in text in our virtual auditorium. He uses the nickname Robert Goddard, who is says two things. I don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm a liar. I don't, maybe I'm ignorant or maybe I'm a liar. I don't think that I can be both, but that's fine. But since you and I agree, I guess by extension, his attack on what we are saying extends to you. So I want to give him the opportunity to go to the head of the queue here while I have you on the line. Robert Goddard, how am I lying or how am I misinformed? Please enlighten me.
Wow, sometimes shock value does actually work. I should try this more often. Hey, it's very simple. It states that jurisdiction thereof. You saying that it applies to illegal aliens, and that's a lie. It doesn't apply to illegal aliens. There are court cases in historic record that specifically shows that it didn't apply to illegal aliens in the 18.
Then why do they want to amend it? Then why do they want to amend it to ensure that it doesn't apply?
Because you guys are sitting here, and the reason I called you a liar is because you guys are sitting here saying the Republicans are the ones taking it out of context and interpreting the Constitution in your words the way that they want, and that's a bunch of garbage. It's the left that's doing that. So what we have to do is we have to make it clear, but it specifically says jurisdiction thereof. If you're an illegal alien, you're not under jurisdiction.
We're not talking about illegal aliens. We're talking about the offspring of illegal aliens, people who have been born in the United States of America.
Yes, but if you have a child and you're born in here, you're not under jurisdiction of the United States. You're under foreign law. And that is, you do not apply. This decision has already been made in the 1870 Supreme Court
decision.
Okay,
so Robert Goddard is our constitutional lawyer.
Anyone born in the United States is a citizen of the United States. It is completely and separately distinct from whether or not their parent is a U.S. citizen.
And you know what? I guess I kind of mix two issues here. You make a stronger case than I do, because with regard to the 14th Amendment, as you and I understand it, and as Justin Duckham understands it, but as our constitutional scholar Robert Goddard does not, that is how it applies. If you are born in the United States of America, even to people who came here illegally, you are a citizen then of the United States of America. Let's go to Jerry.
That's black letter law. That's black letter law. That's nobody's esoteric or no leftist oddball interpretation of the Constitution. That is black letter constitutional law.
Let's go to Jerry in Florida. Jerry, welcome to News Talk Online on the Pal Talk News Network.
Thank you, Gary, and thank you, your guest. Forgive me, my Wolfman.
Jonathan.
Jonathan.
You can call him by his first name because he's that kind of guy. He doesn't expect us to call him Mr. Wolfman.
All right.
Good evening.
Good evening. As you know, I'm an immigrant to this country. And as such, I've taken it upon myself to study what the laws of immigration are. My first question is, where's the Constitution written with the thought that it would protect people who are not in the United States already vis-a-vis the slaves? Of this, I'm sure. They had no concept of having tens of millions of illegal immigrants coming across the southern border. It never occurred to them. So you have to ask yourself, what was the intent of the 14th Amendment? Okay? Number two, the United States is the only nation in the world that has this law. Number three, if, and I will qualify that, if an illegal baby was born in the United States and was allowed to stay here to the point of his formation of his identity, schooling, etc., then I would agree that that baby has a right to stay because it would be inhumane. But what if you enacted a law that says you're born in a hospital, you are registered, the mother is an illegal alien, you got to send both back. And that, I think, would be the legal premise. Because you say you deny him an education? No, you don't. He can get an education in the country from which his mother illegally entered into the United States. I take Justice Brandeis's opinion of a U.S. citizen very, very seriously, which unfortunately our progressive liberals don't. I'm talking from personal experience. I jumped through the hoops, I came here, my children were born here, and I have a responsibility to the country. Unfortunately, some don't believe that. Thank you.
Well, you know, that's an interesting suggestion, although I would suggest in return, Jerry, that what would happen is that a lot of moms would be giving birth in hotel rooms and houses rather than in hospitals. There would be unrecorded births in the United States if that were the case. That would be my suspicion. What would happen if that were the case? If she knew that if she goes to the hospital to deliver the baby, that she and her kids are going to get sent back to the country from where she came, she ain't going to the hospital. I'm sure of that.
And is that illegal? Is that illegal?
Is it illegal to give birth at home?
No, yeah.
No, I don't think so.
And would it be legal for the United States then, after they find out about this, to deport her and the child? Please.
How would they find out? How would they find out, Jerry? We have so many. We have so many illegal aliens. They drive right past them.
Precisely.
And go round them up. So
precisely, precisely my point, and the cost that it has burdened the border states is beyond comprehension.
Well,
you have a state of California that will. Somebody will force that state to declare bankruptcy. And what is the single greatest cause of that? Thank you. I'm off the mic. Thank you, Gary. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you for that, Jerry. You know, I think that we should recruit Jonathan to be your partner on Fridays, because I think the two of you would have such a stimulating, intellectual, and articulate counterpoint on issues that it would be the most exciting show, of course, other than mine, on the Pal Talk News Network. Thank you, my brother, for bailing me out again today. And I'll be back at 5 o'clock New York time tomorrow for another edition of News Talk Online on the Pal Talk News Network. Until then, peace out.